The billionaire ignored a farmer's warning. The land remembered anyway. He had 1,000 engineers. He still should have listened to one old man with a shovel. For more than 50 years, Walter Hayes had worked the same patch of land in rural Ohio. Every fence post and dirt road carried a memory passed down from his father and grandfather before him. He never expected the quiet rhythm of his life to change, until the day a billionaire developer bought nearly 5,000 acres next door. The deal made headlines across the county. Officials praised the investment, neighbors speculated about new jobs, and excitement spread fast. Walter just listened. He'd seen enough seasons come and go to know that big plans and big land don't always agree. When the developer, a confident tech-turned-real estate mogul named Marcus Reed, arrived to walk the property with his team of engineers and consultants, Walter introduced himself and offered a simple warning. The land, he explained, had a memory of its own, certain low ground that flooded every few years no matter how dry the summer had been. Marcus smiled, thanked him, and went right back to his blueprints. Modern engineering, he said, didn't have those kind of problems anymore. Walter didn't argue. He'd learned a long time ago that some lessons only land once experienced forces him to. Survey crews moved in within days. Heavy equipment followed, then concrete trucks, then steel framework rising where soybean fields used to stretch for miles. Marcus visited often, always upbeat, always quoting numbers to investors who couldn't wait to see returns. From his side of the fence, Walter watched it all unfold without saying another word. One evening, he pulled out a box of old family records, hand-drawn maps, surveyor notes, and water tables going back nearly a century. Buried in the paperwork was exactly what he expected. Several natural waterways used to cross that property before they were diverted decades ago for farming. The channels were invisible now, paved over and forgotten by everyone except the ground itself. Construction kept accelerating. Cranes lined the horizon, and local news ran glowing segments about the area's next big economic engine. Some residents welcomed the jobs. Others worried that the development was moving too fast for land nobody had bothered to fully understand. Walter kept his thoughts to himself. After the season's first real rainfall, he noticed water tracing the exact paths shown on his grandfather's old maps, quietly slipping back into channels that hadn't cared to drop in 50 years. Nobody else seemed to notice. The engineers were confident in their drainage models. The calculations, they said, accounted for everything. Then the real storms came. A wave of unusually heavy rain hit the region in late summer, and the development's drainage systems buckled almost immediately. Water pooled in areas the engineers swore were impossible to flood. Roads turned to mud, machinery got stuck, and what should have been a manageable storm event spiraled into a logistical nightmare. Marcus rushed to the site, demanding answers. His team scrambled through reports, insisting the situation was temporary. But the water didn't care about quarterly projections. It kept rising in the exact spots the old maps had predicted, because the land was simply doing what it had always done before anyone tried to build on top of it. More storms followed over the next few weeks, each worse than the last. Costs spiraled, timeline collapsed, and investor confidence started cracking. Independent geologists were finally brought in, and after reviewing historical survey data, they confirmed what Walter had said from day one. The site's natural waterways had never disappeared. They'd just been waiting. For the first time, Marcus understood the size of his mistake. Fixing the damage would cost millions and take months the project didn't have. Construction slowed to a crawl, then stopped almost entirely. Equipment sat untouched. Investor calls grew tense, optimism replaced by hard questions nobody wanted to answer. Through all of it, Walter kept doing what he'd always done, mending fences, tending his fields, living the same unhurried life he'd lived for half a century. He took no satisfaction in watching the project struggle. He'd simply hoped someone would listen before it became necessary to learn the hard way. Eventually, Marcus came back to the fence line, this time without the entourage, the blueprints, or the confidence. He asked Walter to walk him through the old maps again, properly this time. Walter obliged, laying out decades of history that had been sitting in a farmhouse drawer the entire time, waiting for someone to ask. In the end, the story was never about money or ambition. It was about respecting the ground before building something on it. Walter's warning cost him nothing to give, Ignoring it cost Marcus far more than he ever imagined.